Hello, happy Tuesday. Welcome back to another episode of the Flow with the Girl podcast. If you're new here, my name is Sophia Dawn Bassett now, except for funny story. We shared this on our previous episode. If you didn't watch or listen to the episode that is right before this with me and my now wife, Kiana, we talked about how we lost our legal marriage certificate, and it was pretty easy, actually. We went in and I think that maybe this happened after our episode. So I guess this is an update if you did listen to that episode. But we went in to the courthouse or wherever we're supposed to get the marriage certificates, license stuff, and told her what happened. And she just gave us a duplicate, so she had like our thing on file. She just reprinted it, and we just have to have any two witnesses that were there sign it, and then the officiant. And so we, got two different witnesses. We're gonna get that all signed and bring that back, and then that's it. So a lot easier than I thought. I definitely freaked out when I realized that we didn't have our legal one. Didn't know how that was going to work, but it was pretty easy. So good news there. But still have to do all the things to get my name changed on like my ID and all of the like debit cards and all that stuff. That seems to be like a lot and kind of a hassle, but still got to do that. And I'm actually waiting to do that. Well, number one, because we haven't handed in that legal certificate yet. But also because since we're buying a house right now, I am going to wait to legally change my name until all the things with our new house gets done. Everything's closed. Until basically our mortgage lender lady tells us that it's okay and I can change my name to Bassett. Final closing day is a week from Monday, a week from yesterday. So if you're listening to this Tuesday, September 19th, it was a week from Monday, September 18th for when we go and do the official closing. So that's pretty exciting. I've been starting to pack more and going through things, decluttering, and it's been feeling real good to just get rid of things, throw things away. And although the packing and unpacking is a process, but I don't know, it's just, I love it. I love how it feels. I love how it feels after. It's kind of also like a reset of life. I don't know. So I know some people don't like it, but I actually really like it. Something else that's kind of going on in my life right now is I've been kind of in this social media hiatus. I go on there every now and then just to check it, but I'm really trying to not go on it. And actually I'm real close to getting rid of social media apps on my phone for I don't know how long. But I've just kind of felt this calling to do it because of just things that I want to work on internally and within myself. And I know I mentioned this in the last episode that I just feel like I am kind of losing, not necessarily losing myself, but kind of I really want to focus back in on myself, meditation, connecting back to myself, connecting back to universe, source, whatever you want to call it. And really kind of, I don't know, I figure out, maybe figure out is the right word. I don't know, but kind of just meditate on how I want my business to look like when it comes to personal training and online clients and who I want to kind of market to and I don't know, social media just kind of, I like it because it's a creative outlet for me, kind of I like creating videos and content and writing things down. And for me, I guess it's in the post typing it, but I sometimes just lately have not been enjoying it as much. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. But currently social media right now is just kind of me creating content is kind of non-existent. Plus, it's just been we were trying to focus on wedding stuff, and then now it's house stuff. I want to try and pack, and then keeping up with day-to-day stuff and all the things. So anyways, me and Kiana, we talked about it a little bit. I kind of had a little midlife crisis, we called it. So that's kind of where I'm at. But anyways, for today's episode, I thought it would, so this kind of got inspired because I was listening to another podcast and I was like, this is like kind of coming up a lot in clients, with people that I talk to just within health and for like fitness and nutrition and them trying to lose weight, but they want to gain muscle and they want to get toned and all of that stuff. It's kind of been coming up a lot. And so I thought this would be a perfect time, good episode to talk about. And that is things to look at. Like what can you do? What can you look at if you are not losing weight? And I don't like saying weight, but if you're not losing body fat, if you're not getting that body composition that you want and you've been trying for maybe years or maybe like a year or like however long you've been trying to lose body fat, lose weight, be quote toned, and like I said, get the body composition that you are going after. What can you look at? What can you do differently? Maybe there's things that you're overlooking or not thinking of. And so I'm going to go through some of those things for if you are in this spot currently. And the last one that I say is, in my mind, the most important and probably the one that is most prevalent with people that they're not thinking about because we can't see it. It's not like a tangible thing of what's going on, and it's going to be last. So we're just going to have to wait a little bit and listen to the other things that I'm going to talk about. This is also specific to if you are tracking and you're doing the method of calories in versus calories out. Like we always hear, or at least if you follow fitness professionals, nutrition people, coaches, like anyone in that space, that calories in versus calories out is how you lose weight. You have to burn more calories than what you take in. But what if that's not working? What if like you're tracking or doing that and you're maybe going the opposite direction? Maybe you're gaining weight. Maybe you feel like shit. Maybe like it's just not working for you and it's not happening in the way that you want or hoped for. So the first thing I'll say about this is asking yourself, how accurate is your tracking? Are you weighing your food to the gram, to the very gram? How are you? Is it like loosely tracking? Is it like you're tracking everything 100% accurate? Like I said, weighing it. And by the way, this is me saying that I believe that loosely tracking can have a lot of benefit, especially like mentally and emotionally, but like it all depends on the individual, where you're at with your relationship with food, and just where you're at with everything. Everything is just so individualized. But that is just a question that you can ask yourself. How accurate is my tracking? This has come up at least twice in the last week, where a couple people realized that when they put it into MyFitnessPal or whatever app it was that they're using, that maybe what they're actually eating in the app includes cheese. Or, okay, pause a second on this conversation. I am in my office space recording this podcast, and there's a window right out in front of me. And this guy who lives in a building across the way, and of course there's a motorcycle now, but this guy that lives across the way, just right before I started this like recording, he walked out, came around, and he was holding something. And I'm like, what is he holding? I couldn't tell. He got to his mailboxes and he opens his mailbox and shines the flashlight in. Nothing there, closes it. Okay. I've never seen anyone use a flashlight. And it's like light out. It's not dark, which by the way, when I took my dog for a walk, I did see him do the same exact thing. And I didn't see this, but I would guess that he probably had his flashlight, opened it, peeked in. And this was at like maybe 6 a.m.-ish. I want to say 6:30, 6:15, something like that. So it was still a little bit dark. Okay, so flashlight. All right, if you can't see very well. And like I said, I didn't see him do that, but I'm just guessing that would happen just because this just happened before I recorded. And it just happened again. Like I've been recording for 10, 15-ish minutes probably. So within that like 20, 25-minute time span, he's checked it twice. And both times was light these last 2 times. And I did see him with a flashlight coming around, open the mailbox, check it. But I don't know. Okay, so this will be interesting to see how many times he checks the mailbox. Anyway, we're talking about tracking accuracy. And yes, so one of my clients realized that whatever she was tracking, in the app, it included cheese, I believe. But then when she was eating, whatever it was she was eating, it didn't have cheese or something along those lines. Like it just didn't, it was off. Something was, whatever she was eating was in the app. So it accounted for it, but she didn't actually eat it. And then someone else that I talked to said so I was looking over her like macros and stuff and what she was tracking and the food she was eating. And we got to talking and realized that and I was asking questions, and something that she tracked, it was some sort of salad. She had to search something like it in MyFitnessPal, but the salad that she ate was a homemade one from a grocery store, I believe, or some sort of health food place here. And so that's not super accurate. Like you don't know for sure how much is in that. And it's just like, yes, that is loosely tracking and you're searching for something, but it's not super accurate. Like you just don't know. And there's some things in that salad that wasn't what she ate and vice versa. So just things like that. I think that loosely tracking and being 100% accurate tracking both has its benefit, but again, depends on where you're at in your journey, what your specific goals are, and comes down to the individual. But if you're thinking to yourself, okay, I have been in this like calorie deficit from wherever my maintenance is and nothing's working, it's still not working. Well, maybe I would encourage you to check the accuracy of your tracking, because maybe you're not in a calorie deficit. And this part does go back to science. But again, if you're not tracking accurately, then you could be undereating, you could be overeating. The balance of where your macros should be could be way off, like you just don't know. And this is where I think it's really important also to have someone who is, I want to say professional, that comes to my mind, but it's hard for me to say professional. Like I have just within the last year started helping people with their macros and figuring out like what their maintenance is and calorie deficit and all of that. So I feel like I can't call myself a professional, but I have some experience with it, and I like a big bulk of my nutrition certification talked about it. So I have some education and I'm always constantly learning, but I think it's important to have someone who is versed in that and has some experience and knows what they're talking about when it comes to macros and tracking accuracy, and not just using a calculator on the internet, because it can't take account for you as an individual. All right. So in a nutshell, if calories in versus calories out is not working and you're tracking, ask yourself how your tracking accuracy is. And if you want to get more accurate with it, I recommend finding someone to help you, and then also using a scale so you can actually weigh it to the gram instead of just doing portion sizes to help with that tracking accuracy. Second thing that you can look at is your workouts. Are you working out 6 or 7 days a week? Are you doing a lot of high intense cardio workouts? Are you strength training? Are you only lifting like 2 to 3, 4 times a week? Did you come up with that workout? How did you come up with that workout? Do you just kind of wing it day to day? Have you been doing the same workout for more than 8 weeks? These are all good questions to consider. If you are working out 6, 7 days a week, and I would even say 5 days a week. Like if you're working out, depending on the workout, if you're working out 5, 6, 7 days a week, hammering your body, Maybe you're doing some lifting, but then maybe also you're just hammering your body with cardio. This could be a reason why you are stuck, or why also that calories in versus calories out isn't working. And this could be because you're not supporting the nutrients that your body needs. Because if you're working out a lot, if you're working out 6, 7 days a week, even like I said, maybe 5 days a week, and going ham in your workouts, I'll get to that in a second. Going ham in your workouts, you're probably needing well over 2,000 calories, and you're probably eating under 2,000 calories is what I would guess, based on the people that I talk with and seeing what they're tracking, what they're shooting for, and where they kind of feel stuck. And then you can ask yourself, how long have you been doing that for? How long have you been working out 6, 7 days a week and pounding your body? My advice and encouragement to you would be to scale back, slow the fuck down, take a minute, and focus on strength. So we're focusing on strength-based workouts, meaning lifting weights, and scaling way back on that cardio. I think a lot of people don't realize that sometimes the only cardio that you need is going on a walk. And I know that there's a time and place for cardio. It is great for heart health, but I think that we need to scale back on that if your goal is to lose body fat, and if your goal is to get that quote toned look. By the way, we cannot do all the things at once. I hear people all the time say they want to lose weight, they want to lose body fat, but they also want to gain muscle and they want to get toned. You can't do both. And maybe you can in some way, some aspect, but if you want to gain muscle, be in that building phase, you need to support your body with food and with the nutrients that it needs and with the amount of food that it needs. And if you want to be in a phase or a time or a season in your life where you want to focus on losing body fat, you need to make sure that you're in a place where your body is able to do that. And you have place within your food to be able to play with going into that calorie deficit. If you're eating 1,200 calories and you've been doing that for a long time and you're still like, well, I'm in this calorie deficit, I'm not eating a lot, and you're working out all the time, you're not supporting your body, you're not supporting the weight loss or body fat loss that you are trying to go for, because you're already eating so low and your body is in this like survival mode, hanging on to that body fat because it doesn't feel safe. And then it's like, okay, from here, you have the option to go even more into a calorie deficit, which is not healthy and is only going to really F up your body even more. So that's where we need to focus on giving your body those nutrients, eating more food to help put on maybe it's muscle, to help like give your body the food that it needs to support whenever you do go into a quote calorie deficit. But again, this all like intertwines with going back to workouts. Like it all intertwines with workouts. If you're working out 6, 7 days a week, hammering your body, yeah, maybe you're strength training, but also maybe you are hammering your body with cardio, but you're only eating less than 2,000 calories and you're not supporting your body that way, you're not going to see the results that you're wanting. And if you've been in this place for a while, then that's your answer. Like you're not seeing the results. Something's got to change. Now, maybe you are eating 2,000 or more calories. You feel like you're eating enough protein, even carbs, like you feel like you're doing all the things with food right. But then you can go back to the workouts. How many are you working out 6, 7 days a week? Are you hammering your body with cardio? Then in this case, I would suggest to scale back. When in doubt, scale back on that cardio and focus on lifting weights. Really all we need is 3 or 4 days a week. I feel like in this space, it's just been pounded in our heads that we need to work out every day. We got to go as hard as you can. Otherwise, you're slacking. But if you're not giving your body time to recover and rest and recuperate and time to rebuild muscle, then you're still going to stay stuck because your body is in this constant mode of stress, breaking down muscle. It's in a constant state of go, go, go. Like I said, you're not giving your body the time it needs to recover, to rest, to do its thing. So try for maybe even a month and focus on lifting weights 3-4 days a week. And that's not to say the other days you can't do anything. The other days, focus on maybe stretching, mobility. It can be active recovery. Go for walks, go for a bike ride, do some yoga. I'm just saying to scale back and not hammer your body every single day and see how you feel. I was talking to someone and she works out. This is someone that I work with at Burn Boot Camp. And she works out 6 days a week. She does the lifting days and the cardio days. And I'm like, the only thing that I want you to do this next month. And by the way, she has come so far. Like, her relationship with food has completely transformed and changed. She's in a good spot where we are now eventually going to maybe start tracking again. She's been tracking, but I don't have a specific goal for her. Like, I just kind of want to see I'm going to have her focus on her protein, but she's in a good place. She's in a healthy place with herself and her relationship with food. Now it's like, okay, what's the next step? And she told me that she works out 6 days a week, which I've known, right? We've talked about this before. But she does the lifting days and the cardio-based workouts. And I'm like, you're not giving your body enough time to rest. And she's eating most days under 2,000 calories. That's not enough to support what she's doing. And so I told her, for this next month, I want you to focus on just the lifting days. So that's going to be 3, maybe 4 days a week. And do no cardio days. None. I was like, I don't want you to do any cardio days. We're going to focus on the lifting days. And then in a month, let's see where you're at with how you feel, with how your clothes are fitting, with energy. And I asked her, do you feel good when you do cardio days? And she said no. She basically said she feels like shit when she does all of those cardio days. What does she say? I don't remember. She used a specific like phrase or a couple words, and it was good. It was funny. Garbage, trash, maybe, I don't know. But she didn't feel good at all. And so that's a sign too. Like, exercise shouldn't make you feel like trash. And like you're just exhausted the rest of the day or like the entire week. Like, I feel like right now she's in a place where she's just exhausted all of the time because of how much she's working out. And so, like I said, this next month, she's just going to go to the lifting days and she's going to focus on protein, and that's it. We're going to see how she feels. We're going to see where she's at. And I'll give you an update on that because I'm really excited to see how this works out for her. For me, I remember when I stopped working out 6-7 days a week, it was hard. Like, the biggest hurdle for people and for her and for me was mentally. Like, it was like, mentally, I cannot just take off going to the gym. Mentally, I can't not do this workout, this hard workout, or like mentally, I just can't not whatever, do every day. But I trusted. I was like, I just have to try. I'm just going to do it. But the other days I would do like band work, or I would do mobility or stretching. So I still stayed active, but I forced myself. I'm like, something needs to change. I'm just going to do this and see what happens. And holy shit, I felt better. I felt stronger. My lifts improved, like how much strength I had, how much I could lift, and my body fat went down. And then again, this happened when we moved to Sioux Falls. I stopped running. I stopped doing a bunch of cardio. I just straight lifted, and it ended up being 3, 4, maybe 5 days a week. Most of the time, 3 or 4 days. Again, felt better. I ended up losing body fat. I ended up, I might have lost a little bit of muscle, but there's a lot more going on, and I'm going to talk about that in a future episode soon. I'm going to share basically my entire story from start to finish. So that's going to be maybe a long one. But anyways, I'm going to get to that then. My point is that when I scaled back, stopped doing the cardio, like as high intensity as I was, and as many times as I was, that's when I felt my best, and that's when I had the most benefit and results when it came to my body composition. So again, summarize in a nutshell, if what you're doing isn't working, look at your workouts. How many days a week are you working out? How intense are they? Is it strength? Is it cardio? How much of the cardio are you doing? How do you feel when you do those workouts all of the time? And I encourage you to scale those back, even if it's for a month, and see how you feel. But really, like, no cardio, just focusing on the lifts for a month. All right, the last two I'm going to talk about here, it's going to also I feel like they all intertwine, but we're going to really intertwine with the last one, number 5, that I'm going to talk about. So 3 and 4, kind of gonna combine them here. Sleep and stress. And sometimes it's hard because you can't really always you can control sleep, but also depending on your job, are you working overnights? Is it like 2 weeks of days, 2 weeks nights? Do you just have a newborn baby and you have to wake up at a certain time because they're crying in the middle of the night? Like, so there's control what you can here. And if you can control sleep, making sure that we're getting quality sleep. And if what you're doing isn't working, ask yourself that question. How is my sleep? How do I feel day-to-day energy? How much am I getting? And what is the quality of that sleep? And then pairing that with stress, because a lot of times those two go hand in hand. If you're not getting a lot of sleep, that's stress on your body, and you're probably pretty stressed. And if you are really stressed, then you're also probably not getting the best sleep. So it's just doing what we can to improve that quality of sleep and doing what we can to reduce stress as much as we can. Not saying that has to be a 45-minute routine every single day, but maybe throughout the day, you set a timer and you take 5 deep breaths, or maybe you set 10 minutes to meditate. Or maybe it's going outside, taking a break, going for a walk, not looking at your phone, no screen time, no TV. Like, you're just going to go for a walk or connect with nature or dance, journal. Like, I've talked about these 2 things often on the podcast, so I'm not going to hammer them too much here today, but just scheduling joy, scheduling something that is going to bring some calm into your day, and seeing if you can get consistent with that. At least a little bit every day can help. So now this is going to lead into number 5. And that is your gut health and hormones, and getting that figured out first. Like, if you've been doing all the things, tracking is accurate, workouts, you're lifting, not really doing as much cardio, sleep is good, stress is good. And by the way, stress, you maybe think that you're not stressed, but you are. I didn't realize how stressed I was at a certain time in my life. And when I was truly not stressed every day, every week, every month, then I realized, okay, I was living in a high state of stress every single day. So you might not even realize it or believe it or know it. But going back to gut health, hormones, getting that checked out first, because yes, okay, I remember what I was saying. If you're doing all of the things and maybe you're gaining weight, you still can't seem to lose weight, there has got to be something going on. There's a root cause of this. And most of the time, I mean, there's been multiple people, most of the time it has something to do with their gut health, their gut microbiome, their hormones. Something is going on. I actually had a client, we were working together for probably about 6 months, 5-6 months. And man, we were doing all the things and she was not losing weight or body fat. And in fact, she I don't know if she gained a little bit. She might have lost a little bit. I don't know. But she then went to get some things checked out internally, her thyroid, hormones, like things like that. And she got professional help from those people that deal with that. And bam, she started to lose the weight and she started to lose body fat. And we're still working out and still doing the things. But as soon as she got that in check, that's when she started seeing the progress and the results with her body composition. Pause. Oh my gosh. This guy is coming back. I'm seeing him walking around and coming to the mailbox. It's been, so however long it's been since I last said it, add maybe 10 minutes because I took a little break just to get my notes right for this next part of the episode. And yep, open it, flashlight, check, nothing's still there. Still, what the fuck? I've never noticed this. I have seen him come through, like I've seen him walk like in the morning. I thought, okay, once in the morning, but I never noticed this until today. That's multiple times. Very interesting. Stay tuned. See if this happens again. Anyway, before I get into this last one, I remembered something I wanted to share with you about and talk to you about, or just tell you about. Last night, I had a yogurt it was banana yogurt, and I added peanut butter to it, and then I added some cookie dough to it, and it was like a little treat. It was so good. Very filling. And I used dough. This is a healthier cookie dough. Again, I always say not that you have to have healthier cookie dough, like regular cookie dough is bomb. Homemade stuff is the best, but a lot of store-bought ones have a lot of crap in it. And I am always very mindful of, or at least I try to be most of the time, mindful of ingredients of different things that I eat, especially with treats. I'm very picky. I want either the real thing, homemade, or I love finding healthier ingredients or ones that have healthier ingredients. So this is, like I said, called dough. Ingredients are spot on and tastes amazing. It's the best cookie dough, healthier version cookie dough that I have ever tasted. And I am able to, oh, wait, before I say that, it was the salted peanut butter cup cookie dough. So good. And sometimes they enhance them with different things like reishi mushrooms and ashwagandha and things like that, which I love. I also love this is a all women owned company. And fun fact, the owner, Sabina, was actually on Shark Tank, so you can find their episode. But I'm able to give you a discount if you would like. This is a 10% discount on your entire order. They have cookie doughs, lots of different flavors. They have donuts, which I have tried. They're small, but they're mighty. And they have different spreads, kind of like a Nutella, like a healthier Nutella, like a hazelnut spread. And they're always seems like they're coming out with just different cookie dough flavors and things like that. I've put the cookie dough on toast before, eat it plain. You can bake it. You can eat it raw. So delicious, so good. And I was able to reach out and get a discount. So not only do you get a discount, 10% off your entire order, but also I do get a little kickback from that, which is kind of nice because I don't make a whole lot. Like I don't make that much from it. It's not like it's making me a living or anything, but it's something. And I think I get a lot of people asking me, oh, how's your podcast going? Do you make money from that? Like people are curious, like if I make money from podcasting. And I always say this, I need to look more into like my hosting account to see if so many downloads gets me, like if I can get paid that way. But really, for all I know, like right now, from my knowledge, it's really partnerships and having different brands and companies that I can partner with and give discounts to, ones that I love. And I will only share ones that I love and use. And then I either get paid from that like advertisement or I get a kickback from providing you a discount. And so that's it. Like I don't make money from this other than this one discount. And that's it. I just love doing it and putting this out there and providing different tips and just sharing my story and all of that. So anyways, if you would like to try it and would like to get 10% off and support me in this podcast, then head over to www.eatdough.com/discount/Sophia10. So that's www.eatdeux.com/discount/SOPHIA10. Or if you go to their website and you are at the checkout, you can also just put in the discount code Sophia10, SOPHIA10. All right, so let's get into this last thing to look at. If you're not losing weight, if you're not losing body fat, your body composition, like you're struggling, you're stuck. This is, like I said in the beginning, I think personally the most important and the one that is overlooked that we don't think about the most. And that is, like I mentioned, gut health, hormones, your microbiome, all of that. Bacteria plays a big part in fat loss and even in the behaviors that can result in weight gain or weight loss. And there's even studies to show this. And one study that I heard from a podcast, And this, I believe, is a very reputable source. This podcast is called Mind Pump. One of the guys is just a whiz and knows all of the studies and goes down the rabbit hole. And so I trust him. And I definitely trust their word, their podcast. So highly recommend looking them up. Mind Pump. Anyways, he was talking about, so his name is Sal. He was talking about how they have done animal studies. So with mice, they were doing fecal transplants, and they took obese mice and lean mice, and they took the microbiome of the lean mouse and put it in the obese mouse, and the obese mouse got lean. And then vice versa. They took the obese microbiome and that bacteria and put it into the lean mouse, and the lean mouse got obese. And you may have heard how our gut is like our second brain, and I feel like we probably don't even know everything that it does, or even the gut-brain connection or the connection to behavior and like with cravings and so many different things. Like there is a lot going on. I know there's like books and a lot more research out about it, but I think that there's a lot more to it. It's a very complex thing, but it's not something that's talked about a lot in the health and fitness space unless there is, like I've seen a lot of coaches and people. LOL, that was my dog barking that you might have heard in the background. We had someone come in and fix our fridge in our townhome because it was leaking. And anyways, just wanted that. So as I was saying, I see that there are more people in this space, like specifically talking about like specific coaches to healthy hormones or like gut specific type of coaching. But I still feel like there's a long way to go when it comes to making sure that we include this aspect in coaching, in training, in our overall wellness when us personal trainers and coaches, whether online or in person, is incorporating or is like talking about these things with our clients and even when we are creating content. And that study really shows, the study with mice really shows that obese and lean individuals, they have different microbiomes, and it can influence cravings, behaviors, how you feel emotionally, how you view the world, attitude, inflammation, like so many things, everything. Our microbiome plays an important role in how food is broken down, how energy is utilized, how efficient you use energy, or how inefficient you use energy. So this also means that two people consuming the same exact calories could have different results because of differing microbiomes and in how that energy and those calories in the food are utilized and how insulin levels are. The body will work better when our gut microbiome is working better. And so this kind of ties it all back in, going back to calories in versus calories out. It's so much more complex than that. And there's science that still applies, but I think if we're only solely looking at calories in versus calories out, we're doing a big disservice to our clients and in the health and fitness space. I think I mentioned this, but our gut is our second brain, and you may have heard that before. They communicate very closely, and when we can improve that connection, that communication, and the overall health of both of those, it can reduce anxiety, reduce depression, improve feelings of confidence. And in our gut is where we produce a lot of our serotonin, brain and heart as well. But this is also why, and I learned this from that episode I mentioned, but it all makes sense. Like it's like put two and two together. I didn't put two and two together until I heard it and then made this connection. But that's where we get that saying, trust your gut, trust your intuition, and why our intuition comes from the gut. Like it's a subconscious knowing between those receptors or between different receptors. And it's a knowing from these areas. And that's why we feel that, like we get butterflies or we get excitement, or when we feel like something's off, like it's usually from our gut. Not necessarily, oh, my brain is telling me and I feel this way because of my brain. Like, no, it always comes from our gut or our heart. So if you're trying to become healthier, if you're trying to lose body fat, you're trying to get your body composition a certain way, you're trying to become fit, and if you're not paying attention to this specific thing, to these things around the gut, then it can really be hard to do what you're wanting to do. And we need to solve what's going on in your gut, and having someone look specifically in your gut and your gut health and in your microbiome. Things that you can do to improve your gut health right now would be to eat whole foods, really eat more whole foods, and more so stay away from those highly processed, hyperpalatable foods as best as you can. I am always from the approach of not restricting completely, but adding more of the healthy foods, healthful foods, more whole foods. Of course, drinking water, like control the controllables here. Eating fiber, eating fermented foods, and also adding in maybe a probiotic. The kind of probiotic matters, and this is still coming from that episode that I was listening to, but he talked about the ones that seem beneficial to the gut, bacteria that seem beneficial to the gut, is Lactobacillus and Bifido. I think it's Bifidobacterium, possibly. And I, full disclosure, have never tried this specific probiotic that I'm about to tell you, but I've been wanting to try it. It's on my whiteboard to order it sometime. I just kind of keep forgetting, but the company is called Seed. And so you can look them up if you want. But anyways, it's just coming from people that I trust, professionals that I trust. I've been in the space for decades and know a lot. And so I trust them. And so I'm just passing that on to you. Seed is the company. And with anything, you might not see changes or feel changes instantly. Maybe you will, depending on where you're at with food and your body and health and all of that. But it might be low-level changes that you notice, like these subtle changes that you might not notice, but you could just be hyper aware and conscious. Maybe ask your partner, but paying attention to things like hair health, skin, nails, cravings, how like your attitude and mood and things like that whenever taking this probiotic or trying to improve your gut health. All right, and that's all I got for you for today's episode. Again, the things to look at if you are not seeing those results with your body composition, but you feel like you're doing all the things. Maybe you feel like you have been doing calories in, calories out, and you're still not seeing the changes. Things to look at: accuracy of if you're tracking your food, workouts, sleep and stress, and your gut health, your microbiome health. Your support and you listening to my podcast, this episode, any episode, is greatly appreciated. If you ever want some guidance, you have questions, whatever it may be, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is going to be in the show notes, flowthegirlpodcast@gmail.com. You can also reach out to me on social media. As of right now, I have it, but like I said, I might be getting rid of it. Who knows? I'll announce that in a future episode if I do. But I'm on Instagram at SophiaDawn41. That's SophiaDawn41. And this podcast has its own Instagram at Flow the Girl Podcast. I'm also on Facebook. Again, links in the show notes if you would like to reach out to me and connect. But otherwise, again, thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. And with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, week, weekend. Bye for now. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Flow with the Grow. I'll see you next week for your daily dose of positivity and growth.